Thank you for being here. You tell them a real pro at this, right? I'd like to start off with some stuff happened where it's like, well, first of all, I can assure you don't have to worry. As you can tell by the certifications, this isn't a technical talk, so no worries there. But I do have to apologize. We had an issue with my demo being outed and broken at the last con I was at, so that's not going to happen. But I know some people are like expecting something from me because, you know, I like to perform. And I did hear on Security Justice's podcast that a good way for social engineers and stuff, you know, to get an audience going is to use magic tricks. So I need a volunteer to give me a €2 coin. Who wants to give me a €2 coin?
A volunteer, Brian.
There we go. Awesome. Throw money. Oh, it brings me back to some college days. That was really easy. Anybody got €20? €20. Okay, I guess we'll stick with this. Okay. So here we go. All right. I said quiet. Who did that? Okay, sorry. My 4-year-old loves this, guys. Come on, I'm trying here. Throw me a bone, okay? You're still not getting this back either. But so here we go. Okay. Let me try another one. That didn't work out as well as I thought it would. Well, actually, I didn't think it would work out even that good. But let's start off with something else, okay? Everybody knows the Rio and know Penn and Teller. You know Penn and Teller, Penn Jillette, Teller and stuff. Well, I actually know Penn Jillette from going to Vegas quite a bit, and he does this one trick that's pretty cool, where he can actually, based on the location and the people, he can actually tell you what you had for dinner. With like an 85-90% reliability, he can tell you what you had for dinner just by asking you 5 questions and polling the audience. So what I'm going to do is I'm not as good as him, so I'm going to give you like a 75% chance, okay? Maybe 60% chance. I'm very overconfident, as you can tell. But I'm going to try it anyway, and it's like I'll try to do that. So I'm going to ask some general questions, and I'm going to need a volunteer, and it's like I'll ask them 5 questions. These questions are based on sociology, psychology, dietary, generational, and geographical. So we're going to go over that, and then hopefully I'll be able to tell you what you have for dinner. So let me ask some general questions right now for the whole audience. Who here is married? Raise your hand. We're about to be married soon. Come on. There we go. Okay. So who here has children? Raise your hand. Okay. Who here has bought a car off a car lot? Not online, not because they found it in an alleyway. Who here has bought a car off a car lot? Raise your hand. Okay. Who here has gone to the mall? Just walking through a mall. Okay, dude, you're not even playing, dude. Come on. It's like, I need help from everybody here, okay? So like, okay, so who here has bought something off the internet? Not stolen something off the internet, bought something off the internet. Let me make that clear. Okay. Okay, I'm getting everybody to join in. That's good. Okay. Now, I'm going to need one volunteer. It's like all I need volunteer to do is the volunteer. It's like, come down, and I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and I can almost a certainty guarantee tell you what you had for dinner, and I'm going to make it interesting. If I succeed and I tell you what you had for dinner, you have to be honest. Oh crap! It's like for one, you have to be honest, and 2, it's like you have to buy me a drink. I think you can guess what you're going to have to buy me. But it's like, and if I lose, I have a set of stickers that I will be giving you and stuff, you know, like different hacker stickers from different conferences, because I'm a pack rat. It's just one of those things. And I will be able to give those to you, and we'll be even. So, but you have to be honest with me. It's like if I guessed and you have to, and I guessed correctly what you had, you have to let me know that I did. So, can we have some volunteers? Who wants to volunteer to be? Wow, that's good.
I had dinner with you.
That's true. Yeah, some people already had dinner, so that's not fair. Okay, you come here. Come down.
You got stickers, right?
I've got stickers. It's like right here. Eventually, somewhere. So, all right. What's your name? So Jabron, everybody give a big hand around Jabron. Thank you. The way it's going to work, it's like I'm going to need you to stand right there.
Okay.
Okay, because I need you to be able to read and not be distracted by everybody else.
Okay.
I want you to focus on me.
Alright.
See how this works. There we go. So what I need you to do is look straight at me.
Okay. You got it.
Hold on.
Alright. Just right.
Okay, 3 degrees to the left. Okay, right? Okay, right there. I see that work. I just being a jerk, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, I need you to look straight at me. I'm going to ask you like 5 specific questions.
Okay.
I need you to be as honest as you can with those answers, okay?
Okay.
So the first question is going to be based on sociological. Okay, so where did you meet your spouse? Where was the location? Look right here.
Chicago.
Chicago? No, where? Like a restaurant? Was it a... Gotta work with me here.
University.
University of...
Chicago.
There we go. Okay. You gotta be help. I mean, it's really cool. All I'm doing is I'm showing just pictures of what we'll look at. Here, you can look. It's all right. No, you can look at it. So you just solve your curiosity and stuff, you know. The second question is a psychological question. Okay. No matter what you eat, you can eat any different kinds of foods. What you eat, it's like, what do you eat? What do you consider yourself? A carnivore, an omnivore, or herbivore?
Definitely a carnivore.
Carnivore, okay. Just like a meat eater, very scary. Okay, so now looking straight at me, it's like we want to go and ask a question, say, based on a logical interpretation of where you think you live. And stuff, you know, not based on like geographical, but based in a logical realm. So like, what's your zip code?
60564.
There you go, okay. So it's like, because that gives you the logical side of it, stuff, you know, from the way you associate where you're living. So here's another question. Here you can look at the pictures while I'm asking. Let's make this next picture one a dietary question, okay? So from a dietary standpoint, no matter if you were at home right now, you weren't here in Barcelona, but you were at home, you had the option to do whatever you wanted. Would you eat in, or like make a dinner? Would you have delivery, or would you have takeout? Delivery? My kind of guy.
No.
Of course, it's mostly pizza. So let's stay focused. We're almost to the home stretch there. Okay. From a genealogy, you know, from a generational kind of question here, is just what's your birthday? It's like, what's your year and date of your birthday?
You want me to give that to you?
Yeah. We can talk about these. All guys are good.
Okay.
Except for that one guy probably waving. Dog. It's all good.
Well, you want
Yeah.
the month and
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 things, right?
Okay.
February 26th.
February 26th. Okay. And why is that a bad thing? Well, it's because those 3 questions. Thank you for playing. I've got some bad news. I've got some good news. I actually like to get them out of hitting range before I go through the rest of this. But I do have some good news and bad news. The bad news is I don't know how to do. I don't have the stickers with me right now. And I never watched Penn and Teller do this trick. What this was how social engineering works. It's like you promise something, you get them believing, you get them working, you get them into a concept of what they're going, and then you do something else. What do these questions have in common though? 3 of those questions lost Sarah Palin her email address. The ones in red. So it can be extremely easy and sometimes difficult, especially with Google's, to get that kind of information to do a password reset on somebody. I mean, it's just that easy. Just going in and doing a regular conversation with someone, trying to do a bar trick like I just did, and get them to give you that information. It's like that's one of the biggest problems that we have to worry about. So let's go in a little bit more to what we're doing here. I'm doing social engineering talk because I consider myself somewhat one. This is who I am. I hate this picture, but it's the only one of me in a suit that I haven't burned or destroyed. And the reason why I like this picture is because I have 2 jobs. I have a day job and a night job. Even on my day job, I don't wear that. But it does exemplify what we're talking about with social engineering. Because this guy right here, you're probably not going to let it into your building. But this is the same guy. I have the same knowledge and probably the same tools with me, except for this one you'll let me in. This one, you'll let me go and apply for a job. So you have to be careful. Anything else you want to know about me, you can Google. It's out there. Let's keep going. This is a information security talk, so there's the IMC ISSP, so there's the required Sun Tzu quote. Let's go on to another quote, talk a little bit more about what I'm doing here. I'm not a subject matter expert on social engineering. Okay, I've never had a TV show or anything about social engineering or anything like that. It's like I have Andrew set me up on that one. I couldn't help it.
You don't want to play that game while you're talking.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
I'll accept your apology now.
I apologize and I surrender. It's like preempted. So what I do is like I'm a geek who likes to talk. I do a lot of research. I do information, collect information on these books. I'm not a subject matter expert on this topic or probably any other ones that relate to information security, but I do like to talk about them. And it's like, and I like to entertain. So we'll see if that works out by the end of this talk. Here is the quote that I do like. This is also from Theodore Roosevelt. To educate a man in the mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society. This talk is not going to be just how to break stuff, but hopefully if we have enough time I can actually get to the part about how some of the things we can do to help patch this social engineering problem and deal with the people problem. Wow, that was just the intro. But so far so good, so we're doing okay. I'm going to talk about the history of the 36 stratagems, the history of social engineering, how social engineering differs between the cultures, the new OSI model, some of the stratagems that relate to it, and then hopefully a good discussion. So one of the things I like to say, and I say a lot, is if you want to learn how to cook, you go to France. If you want to learn how to paint, you go to Italy. If you want to learn how to conduct military strategies and military warfare, you go to China. They have perfected the art of killing each other over thousands of years, and they're very good at it. And I mean, they were nice enough to leave instructions. So, and one of those books was the 36 stratagems. And what it's basically is a different stratagems, different tales that are done in this form. I will tell you what the stratagem name is. Then I will explain what the stratagem is. And then usually there's 3 stories to help illustrate that stratagem. And that has gone, before Sun Tzu was even around, these stratagems were in existence. So, so we'll go over those and we'll talk a little bit about how they relate to social engineering. Now, the history of social engineering, people I hate to break this because some people are actually surprised to find out that social engineering actually happened before this guy, Kevin or Frank, appeared on the scene. Before there was computers, there was social engineering. One of the first social engineering victims, this is a victim to social engineering, was Amenhotep III. He was social engineered by his priest, the Amun priest, so well that he was practically giving over the control of the government and the kingdom to these priests. And they were dictating policy, they were dictating culture, they were dictating the theocracy. And so it was so bad that his son, upon the death of his father, had to move the Egyptian royal court to the city of Thebes to escape the influence of the Amun priest. And then he conducted a war that eradicated all existence of the Amun priest. So you be careful of the successful versus unsuccessful social engineering engagement. So that's also a good lesson. But the first Trojan attack. What's a Trojan? In modern times, we all know what a Trojan is. It's it's that attack program. It's like, I know, you're going to go there. It's like, but it's an attack program, and we know how it masks itself, and it's like we know where it comes from. What's the origin of that word and the way we use it now? The actual Trojan horse attack from the city of Troy in the Iliad. Do you realize that a social engineer was responsible for the success of that attack? Sinon the Greek had himself physically disfigured, cut up into almost pieces, left for dead by the Greek army. The Greek army then sailed their boats out. The people of Troy came out, found him on the beach, and this guy was able to successfully convince them first, don't kill him, he was a Greek, and then say, hey, yeah, I was with those guys, they suck, I'm not with them anymore, look what they did to me. By the way, they left a horse, you want to bring it inside? And he succeeded in that. And we know the results, but not everybody realizes it was a social engineer that made that happen. That was one of the first social engineering attacks that made history, except for no one knew that it was a social engineering attack. The last one is bards. the minstrels of medieval times. They were social engineers. Part of their job was to be employed by feudal lords who would then go from end to end, county to county, other feudal systems, feudal areas, and gather intel. Because who's at the end drinking their troubles away? The guardsmen from the keep, the people, the servants, the stable hands. And what they would do, they would buy the bard a drink, tell them what was going on in court. They were invisible in court. Lords and ladies and the king and the feudal lords would talk and conduct business without even acknowledging their existence. And they heard everything. And this was their opportunity to shine to a stranger, someone they looked up to, a minstrel, and tell them like, well, I know this, or I know what's going on. And then they would report that back to the feudal lord that they were being paid for. Well, actually, they got paid by several feudal lords. Sometimes that was fun. It's like, you had multiple employers until they found out. So that was social engineering. I pushed the button, I promise. There we go. Okay, so how does social engineering differ between cultures? That's one of the things when we talk about social engineering. It's like we're dealing with humans. When we're dealing with humans, we're dealing with cultures. From where they were raised, where they conducted themselves, how they lived, and how they were in the family, in the system, and the society that they're in. So let's talk about a couple of them. Asia, one of the best kinds of attacks is conformity attack. Conformity persuasion. In other words, the tallest grass gets mowed down. You don't want to stand out. You don't want to be the odd man out. So you try to create in a situation stuff which pulls someone into a place where they're going to stand out, or something that they're going to be embarrassed or could conduct public shame, and then they'll try to help get you out of the situation, usually into an area that is more secured that you shouldn't be in. Or like the Japanese have an awesome trust model. You know what their trust model is? You're trusted till untrusted. In technical social engineering terms, we call that awesome. Okay? It's like, because you're saying, it's like, you're trusting me until I give you a reason not to trust me. And I would never do that, because you can trust me, honestly. Well, darn, we're not in Japan, that's not going to work. But that's how you do it in Asia. In Europe, it's authority-based persuasion. That whole trusted, but till not trusted is not going to fly here. But, like in Russia, their trust model is the opposite. You're not trusted until trusted. So in other words, how do you work that to your advantage if you're already going in there where that person's probably not going to listen to you? We use the authority-based persuasion. Hi, I'm here to do the surprise inspection on the server farm today. And it's like, well, sir, I have no record. Well, what part of surprise do you not understand? Obviously, why are you here at the door if you're not even understanding what's supposed to be going on? I don't even want to talk to you. It's like, you want me to get the supervisor or your commandant out here to take care of this? I don't think so. Let me in the door now. And I'll just imagine this didn't happen. That's conformity-based persuasion. I mean, not conformity, that's authority-based persuasion. I actually sounded like I had authority there. It's like, but that's how it works. It's like he's going to oh yeah, he's going to let you in, he's going to do what you do, because he doesn't want to get in trouble. He doesn't want to get on the report. He always ends up on the report, but he doesn't want to. Now North America is need-based persuasion. It's very simple in North America. You know why? Because you want to be the good Samaritan. You want to be the nice person. It's like, so how do I get into a building there? I'm in a wheelchair with 4 boxes on my lap, 4 books on my lap, or a box, or someone trying to get in. Are you really going to be the a-hole that's not going to let me in the door? Seriously? It's like, what kind of jerk is not going to let me in the door? It's like, I'm in a wheelchair, I'm trying to get in. It's like, but that's what happens. What's in the box usually is probably just my tools and my computer, and so I really appreciate the help getting in. South America is reciprocation-based persuasion. In other words, they're like, look, it's like, you let me in, I'm trying to just do this report, I'm trying to get this thing in here, you help me out, you let me in stuff, I'll make you look good on the report. I'll make sure I mention you in the report, so you were helpful. I'll make you look good in there. And I don't lie. It's like, I do put them in the report. Maybe not exactly the way they wanted it, but it's like they are in there. So that's how it works in South America. So those are just some of the different ways that social engineering differs between cultures. Why are we talking so much about social engineering lately? It's like, because I think that the OSI model, or the reason why I'm speaking about social engineering lately, is I think it's because the OSI model has changed. we're used to the layer 1 through 7, but layer 1 through 6 is overused. It's time for a new vector. I mean, yes, I know SQL Slammer is still hitting out there for some strange freaking reason, and I know there's NS Blaster still out there because people are idiots, but we got firewalls. People are getting understanding the firewall concept. Maybe they shouldn't have NetBIOS running out onto the internet from their internal network. They're starting to understand those concepts. They're starting to think, maybe an IDS would be cool to know why we're being, or what we're being attacked with. They're starting to develop that kind of the network layer, these kind of defenses. Layer 7's good. It's still good attack vector. You still do pretty good with layer 7 the application. Thank you, Adobe and Microsoft. No offense to the Microsoft people, but it's getting better patched. It's like they're coming better developed. They're getting more attention to the details. I will give you a good shout out to Windows 7. Good operating system. It was built with security from the ground up. The applications are getting better. They're getting built with that kind of security in mind. Not all of them, so you still have that as a good attack vector. But now there's a new layer. It's layer 8. It's the human layer. That's not getting patched, and it's a lot harder to get it patched, to educate the users. The picture right here is the example of layer 8 security, why we need to start talking about this. I did not hack into the system. I did not try to bypass their firewall. I didn't go through their IDS system. I didn't do any of that. I went into an area I wasn't supposed to be in. I asked one lady from the accounting area that I needed to go and work on the servers because I mentioned the name of the owner. And said, I need to go in, he wants me to go and look at this network. She takes me over to another guy who says, I'm here to look at the network. And I tell him, it's like, yeah, it's this guy. So she thinks that this guy's going to verify me. This guy thinks that she verified me. They let me into the server room. Not one person asked my name. They didn't even know my name. And I'm in the server room with a Windows 2000 machine that was last booted March 3rd of 2010. And this was only like a month or two ago. That was fun. It's like, so I don't have to have those kind of skills. I don't need to use Nessus or Metasploit or any of those kind of hack tools when I've got an unlocked workstation right there at my beck and call because you let me into your server room. That's why social engineering is becoming more and more persuasive. I don't need to steal the data. I can steal the machine, find all your backup tapes. And thanks for labeling so I know what day they are. Some of this other data was just, I didn't even want to show that. Here's another good reason for why we use layer 8. Got to give credit to @jcran for that. This shows one of the pen tests that they put on Twitter talking about a pen test that they did. Here's the network-based part. Denied, 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 denied. So what did they do? They went to the physical location. Wi-Fi was a no-go, or they didn't try it. Walked through the front door. Got access to the front door after tailgating a valid user. Finding a network jack in a conference room. Boom, 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 all the way almost to the domain admin credentials. I don't know if they were blocked there or the company just, said uncle. But that's how important it is. This was network-based, not working, not going to happen. They walked through the front door and they have the keys to the kingdom. It's one of the reasons why we have to start concentrating on layer 8. So let's start off with one of the stratagems. This is the third stratagem, killing with a borrowed knife. It's like learning to turn an enemy's assets against them. You let the employee be the attack vector. How do you do that? Well, there's plenty of tools now. We've got, Google, which is the #1 hacking tool out there. We've invested in that. We would have been a trillionaire by now. We wouldn't need to be pen testers, but we didn't, so we're still using it just as a tool. We've got Facebook, we've got the Twitters. It's like we have all these social media and all these employees telling us about their day, telling us what they're doing. We've got these companies now talking about what they're doing in their company, talking about who they are, who the president and the CEO is and what they're up to. They're talking about what kind of deals they're having and how they're trying to get comments from the public and how they respond, and they'll be sensitive to your needs. Just send them a message on Twitter, or it's like join their Facebook fan page. and they'll help you out with that. One of the reasons why that's such a good thing is because I will join your fan book page. And I'm going to join as, hi, I'm Kathy. It's like I'm a new hire and stuff, and I'm not in the same city you're in, and I'm going to tag photos of me and stuff, where you see the back shots. You don't get to see a good picture, but I'm still tagging myself in there in that company picnic. And then I'm going to start friending some of the IT people. It's like, oh, some of my likes. Oh, I like long walks on the beach. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't like vampires in glitter. I like Serenity. I play World of Warcraft. I'm awesome. It's like, will you be my friend? IT guys are reading this. Oh, I will be your friend. And they friend. And that relationship starts after 2 weeks. And then it's like, you know what happens? Well, either two scenarios. I call you, or I send an email to you, or I send a Facebook message like, I'm in so much trouble. It's like the CEO and stuff from this division, or the CFO or whatever, one of my C-level characters and stuff, he's having trouble trying to log into the system. It's like he's in some serious trouble. And if I don't get his passwords reset and logged in and read his email and send it to our customer, I am in serious trouble. I'm going to lose my job. Can you please just reset his password so I can get access to it? Come on. We both liked Star Wars together on the same page. I helped you with your farm, for gosh sakes, and I killed that Don Corleone guy on Mafia Wars. You can't help me with just this? I usually kind of get that help. Another good way to do it is Kathy sends you a Facebook message like, oh my gosh, here's the cutest video and stuff, of them mocking Edward and stuff from Twilight. Click on this link. That'll send you somewhere really good and stuff. Make sure you're at work and stuff. So it's like so you can show your friends and your colleagues because it relates to the company. So that's a good way to do it as well. What is another scenario? I mean, those are good scenarios, and there's a lot of other good tools out there. And you go through some of them that can actually gather more information. Like, I Can Stalk You is a really good site, which actually grabs the metadata from the photos and tells you where you're at when the picture was taken. Please Rob is no longer gone, gone but not forgotten, because they decided they want to change the slide. But it's still one of the first ones that actually started bringing this attention out there. You got Evil, which gives you the phone book numbers from people who posted them on Facebook, which is really nice of them. And here's one, it's just searching Twitter, headed to, showing you where you're going, what you're up to. I like this guy right here who's what you doing gonna do, me headed to the festivities higher than a coconut tree burning for you. So someone needed to stop that guy and stuff, just basically because he's obviously under the influence while he's driving, which is a bad thing. Chris wants to join him. It's like sounds like a good festivity he's going to. But But so that when I started doing this, the Twitter searches, heading to, I thought it started like, what can I do? I want to be evil. I decided I am going to be as evil as I possibly can. What kind of scenario can I do so bad just by doing one search on Twitter? And what's the worst thing I can do with it? Hypothetically, I'm not really thinking this way, but it's like I'm just trying to be bad. So what I did was I did a search on Twitter for Milo. The BlackBerry My Location service to tell you where you're actually at. And when I did that, I got this Twitter here. I pushed the button. Brian, did you pass this on to me or something? I'm telling you. All right, so there we go. I pushed it and found this guy. Schlichten01, teaching healthcare providers CPR at WAH. The only thing that singled this guy out more than anything else was I didn't know what WAH was. I was like, that's interesting. Let's look. Look at my location, Washington Adventist Hospital. Washington, D.C., right by Walter Reed Hospital, which is a sort of famous hospital for presidents in the United States. So I was like, cool. It's like this guy, he's got some kind of clearance and stuff, to be able to go into these kind of hospitals and stuff, that close in Washington, D.C. I wonder who he is. If only I knew some more information about him, because it's like, oh, there's his LinkedIn profile. That's helpful. So everybody meet Steve Lichtenberg. I'm sorry for, dropping docs on you, but, you did it first to the world. He's a volunteer EMT. He used to work for a consultant at Northrop Grumman Mission Systems. So I'm working in the database design and development, so he's probably got top secret clearance and stuff, which is cool, because that means he's a trusted individual. That's nice. If I'm going to do something bad, Am I going to go in as the hot dog sales guy? Am I going to try to bring up a hot dog cart to a crime scene or to a major event that would happen in the DC area? Is that going to be effective? No. Who gets allowed into crime scenes and who gets allowed into disaster areas? Hardly unquestioned. EMTs. Police officers. Are you going to be the a-hole and stuff, that he keeps the EMT from going into the rescue scene or going into the hospital? No. It's like you got to let them in. They're first responders. But but to assume this guy's identity and stuff, I'd have to get to his house. It's like I'd have to mug him, kill him, take over his identity, get his IDs, get his passes, and get his vehicle to get in to further my plans. To be a bad guy. But I don't know where he lives. So how am I going to? Oh, wait, I do know where he lives. Congratulations, I think he passed the test though, so that's a good thing. But now I do know where he lives. So now, as an evil bad guy, I've got a person that has access to Walter Reed Hospital, and I know where he lives, and I know he's a first responder, and I know I could probably assume his identity. What bad things could I do with that? Hypothetically, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just saying. I'm going to get a phone call in 3, 2, no, actually it'll just be through border control. Yay. So that's what we're talking about. It's like that's how easy it is to try to start from going from one little search to doing something bad and doing something evil, and the opportunities that are out there. Because I love LinkedIn. It's like this is not a talk about how bad users are. It's not, because it's not users, it's humans. In every level, it's a human being that's the weakness. It's not the clerk, it's not the teller, it's not the guy at McDonald's, it's not the CEO, it's not the CFO, it is a human. LinkedIn, it's Facebook for corporations. This is the kind of information that they're giving out. New hires, and forget about the popular profiles, because it's like, it's going to be the HR people, because you want to get a job, that's why you're on LinkedIn. What about these people? Donnie Jones, Director of Operations, was Director of Business Performance 4 months ago. Well, I'm Kathy, I'm Donnie Jones' new assistant. I started 4 months ago. I'm trying to get this stuff down. Could you help me out here? Or how about Bill Bush, Manager HR Business Partners, was OD Consultant 4 months ago. You find out when they're promoted. If I'm in Oklahoma City, it's like I'm going after the Tulsa. If I'm trying to victimize Oklahoma City, it's like, then I say I'm from Tulsa. I'm a graduate of the University of Oklahoma. Go Oklahoma team. It's like if the majority was from Texas, A&M. It's like hook 'em up. I don't know. I'm not good with football, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, so there you go. It's like it shows you what the minimum age is. It shows you what kind of schools they go to. Common job titles. This gives you all the information to start your first part of your pen test. It's like when you're gathering information, trying to go after a company. This is not limited to just CEOs or CFOs. Here's another awesome research tool for social engineering. It's ratemynetworkdiagram.com. I kid you not, this is not a joke. Network administrators, system administrators, IT people take their Visio diagrams of their network infrastructure and then put it on the internet for you to rate. IP address and other miscellaneous information has been removed. My supervisors would be quite unhappy with me if I posted the full version. Yeah, because they're not going to be unhappy with the fact that you're left in the part where your STS-CS network server diagram for Encore Building Synergy Business Park, and the devices and the numbers of your routers and what they are and the configurations of them. Oh, and the fact that it's being, at a hacking conference in Barcelona and it's being shot out there through the internet. Yeah, they're not going to be unhappy with that part. So that's John O'Brien for this hack tip for the network my diagram. Here's another one. This one, I actually stopped everything I was doing because I was just trying to get the slides, and I actually researched them. I pinged their servers. I did a network lookup because I could not believe this was real. There was no way this could be. This is their external IP address to the internet, which isn't too bad, you know, except for this is their internal IP addresses for their network. And there's their, what devices they're using. There's their web servers. It's good to know this in a good location. There's their PICs. There's all their internal IP addresses. There's their 2 PICs, 515s, E and failover mode. They're using Radware. It's like there's their external IP addresses. There's the internal IP address. Thank you. I mean, seriously. I actually had to look at this because I could not believe this was real. So this is a great resource if you're trying to do social, but also, I don't want you to use this maliciously, okay? If you're going to go on this site, please rate the diagram. Okay, and be fair, okay? So it's like, I don't want you to just give them bad scores because, you know, they totally jeopardized their company's security or anything. So let's now go to the next stratagem. This is the Pepsi break stratagem, which I love. It's 31, scheme with beauties. I'm sure this is totally going to work. Nope. Hold on. There we go. And it gets worse from here. There's no audio.
Facebook and be able to exchange emails. It's another thing when you need to talk to the person in real life and tell them that you're Kathy. It's like, so how are you going to do that?
It's very simple. You need to be able to change your voice in a way that will make the person make it sound more believable. It helps if you have background noise, and like where I'm trying to do it in a very quiet situation. But you want to be able to make it where it's convincing, where it sounds like, oh, I am Kathy. It's like, I do need help with that password. Could you help me out, please? So that's one of the main things when you're dealing with doing social engineering.
In real life, you're going to want to have the ability to be able to change your voice, or have someone, an employee that can impersonate a female or be a female, or an older person, or the target you're trying to choose. It's like, if you want to go after someone that's an executive, the World of Warcraft headset's really good with being an old person, maybe a little bit too
convincing, because I don't know if you're going to do this all to sound like this. It's how I'm supposed to be working. You could maybe pull off as the owner of the company, or the CEO, or something like that. But that's about the closest thing you're going to get to an old person. So with the WoW headset, I usually just stick with the female.
Because that sounds like the most convincing, without hardly any tweaking at all on the settings. So hopefully you like that. It's like hopefully this helps show you some of the things. And this is just one headset with preset voices. I mean, and trust me, all the other sets, all the other voices aren't as convincing as this one. I don't think
anyone's going to take me seriously if I try to ask for a password reset like this. And I don't think you're going to be able to get anything from someone if you tell them straight up, you know,
just give me your password now. Yeah. I don't think that's going to work. So you want to be creative. It's like there's other voice changers out there. This is just one, and it's just happened. It was just a find, and that's one of the things I liked about it. It was just by accident that says, oh, this could be used for social engineering. It's like there's other devices that I'm sure are much more sophisticated that do the same thing. So please remember, it's like if it's on line and stuff, you know, you can't trust who you're talking to online. One of the things I said in my book, you know, it's like guys are guys, girls are guys, and 14-year-olds are FBI agents. That's the internet. But also now, and more you'll see in real life, you can't trust the other person on the other end of the phone line for the same reason.
And thankfully that concludes all the audio that's involved in this presentation.
Just one question. Is that directly, is it kind of headset?
It does it live, yeah. It's a microphone based. I didn't set the tweaks or anything, but you can, and I didn't even try to get a social engineering tool. You can find actual voice box changers that are way more professional than that. This was just a video game headset that I was like, oh cool, I can sound like World of Warcraft people and I'm a blood elf now, lady, yay, you know, one of those kind of things. So let's go to the next stratagem, 15, luring a tiger from its lair in the mountain. You wait for the workers to take his network, you know, his laptop, to you. Because, I mean, let's face it, there's one big downside from doing social engineering to physical compromise. You might go to jail. That sucks. I do not want to be in the holding tank and stuff, you know, with Bubba, who just murdered his whole family, and telling him, like, what'd you get in here for? I broke into a place to steal some credit cards, you know, and yeah, that's not going to end well for you at all, ever. So it's like you don't want to get caught. So what's a good way of not getting caught? You wait for the executive to go to where? Panera, Starbucks, coffee shop, where they're logging into their network from a remote location. Now you think about yourself, it's like, well, what can they do? What's some of the things you can do? It's like, you know, I'm not going to go and man in the middle attack. I'm not going to talk about how you can do all the air snarf and all. There's so many other, lot better presentations that deal specifically with that you can find online right now to talk about all those different kinds of attacks. I'm not that sophisticated. Lady, 15 minutes, laptop, bag, latte. She was gone for 15 minutes. Okay, I'm a bad guy. I'm taking the laptop, folding it up, putting it in the bag, and because I'm a bad guy, I'm taking the latte too. That's just how I roll. You know, it's like, seriously. I don't have to log into her network. I don't have to try to steal the documents that she's going over the network. I've just stolen all her stuff. That's one of the problems. You get this comfort zone, you get this factor. We saw today and stuff, you know, with someone leaving their stuff, you know, unattended because they trusted everybody to watch everybody. Seriously? No, I don't have that much faith in human beings. Okay, I work in IT security. It's not going to happen. So you have to be careful about that. And that's one of the best places to go. So, stratagem 17 is tossing out a brick to get a J. And I like to ask people, in your opinion, which is the scariest USB device? It's the middle one. Because that's the one you're going to put in your computer. That's the one that you're going to find on your desk. And you're going like, I wonder what that is. Oh, looky there. It's hrpromotions.dlc. Why was that left on my desk? Let me double click on it and make sure it's the right one. Oh, salary and promotions for 2011 XLS. Oh, I got to click on that just to make sure I return it to the right person. Not because I'm curious or anything. It's like, and there you go, I've got the back door. What are some other things that you can do with, going to conferences and going to trade shows, find all those USB devices. IBM compromised with that way. The Department of Energy was compromised that way, where a person would go in, grab a handful of USB devices, go up to the hotel room, install malware, take it back to the vendor, and put them back in the bowl. There you go. It's like you've got the vendor actually distributing the malware for you. You get extra points if it's an actual antivirus provider. It's like, and you do it. But that also talks to me about physical devices and what you can bring in here. And trust me, I really don't like this picture, but it's the only one that's got a suit. And the other reason is I'm wearing my vest of doom. I like to call it the vest of doom because I think it sounds cool and I'm reliving my childhood. So, but what's so special about this vest of doom? Well, one, it's really good to get over a jacket or like a hoodie or whatever I'm wearing to go into the location. And I can put a lot of stuff in it. What kind of stuff? This stuff. This is not all of it, but here we go. Let's go down and see what some of the things that we have. We have right here, we've got some USB devices that I'll pull out, put on your desk, put it in the, not in the parking lot, usually in the restroom or in the office area itself. You've got keystroke loggers. You've got these are nice little handy devices. You plug them in. You wait about 5 or 10 seconds. It pulls down these your password hashes, and then the system info.txt tells me all your shares, your system, the name of your computer, all that kind of helpful information. And then you just go to the next person and you log into that one. You've got a USB hub in case you want to compromise multiple times in one short sitting. Wireless USB devices. Once again, that whole getting caught thing. So why don't you just, plug in a wireless USB device and then, rock out in your own little minivan and stuff, with your tunes and air conditioning from the parking lot. That's a good way to do it. Tools, because if you want to be gangster and OG and stuff, like Nickerson, you just freaking steal it and take it with you. It's like you will do some forensics. We can do that too. Here's the 64 rainbow tables for some easy to guess passwords. We also have a whole group of malware and custom malware that I'll bring with me if I want to use on one of their systems. And I also have about a terabyte or so of hard drive space that I can steal your data and your confidential information and bring it out with me. How do I use that? Do all that with? I do this 1 gigahertz, 40 gig hard drive laptop. And I use that with Wireshark and Wiretap with using this device. I don't have my necklace on me right now, but there it is right there. This pendant is an 8 gig pendant with Backtrack 4 on it. If I want to just use one of your machines to help let you help me attack your network, I can do it off of that necklace. It goes to every security checkpoint ever in every country that I've been in. No one's even asked me to take it off or noticed it. We also have a cellular card and lockpicks that I have no way to use, but they look cool in the picture. So there you go. There are some of the things that you can actually carry with you into an environment. I had to do a picture because one, it's like going through the customs, but I actually did this at a secure location, which I'm not going to mention anything further than that. And I actually managed to get most of the stuff in there. They weren't very happy with me about it, and I didn't mean to be an a-hole and do that, and so I felt bad. So now, when I'm in doubt, I just use the picture. So, but those are some of the devices that I can carry with me when I'm in the Vesta Doom and when I'm going out there. If I get my duffel bag of ponage with me too, it's just game over. So talking about all this stuff and all this compromise, you got to understand the very last, very most important stratagem. It's a 36 stratagem, and they actually said it was the best scheme. Escape. You don't want to be in that jail cell. You don't want to be in that holding tank. You want to get out and stuff in one piece. Every plan should have an exit strategy in the case the attack fails, especially if you're doing it in the real world. Talking about engagement letters is your get out of jail free card. And one of the ways I like talking about that is doing these engagement letters. I was in Houston in a dumpster. A lot of my stories end up with me being in a dumpster for some reason. But I was coming out because I just found the blueprints and I was all happy with myself until I saw some police officers, and one of them with a gun out. I mentioned I was in Texas. And asking me to find out what was going on. So I give him, slowly reach in, give him my engagement letter. He reads it and then gives it back to me. He didn't call the number that was on there. He's like, oh, there's a letter. I now carry 2 engagement letters. It's like one that's the real one and the other one that I expect to get caught with a number that goes to a burn phone and stuff, and I'm just wasting these AT&T Go plans because guess what? No one's ever called it. But now I have as backup. So now sometimes I want to get caught and then have the guy, help me out with the equipment. And I've actually asked him, so you're going to put me in the report soon because I'm helping you with this. Like I said, oh, don't worry, you're going on the report, dude. It's like, no problem. It's like, and then I go out and I didn't lie. I put him on the report. So that's about that. That's some of the attacks. So what do we do? Because we're doing it wrong. Security awareness, especially when it comes to social engineering. This is the perfect example right here. This is a security awareness poster for a company. So now not only do you have insecure employees and policies, but now they have no self-esteem. Good job. It's like, is that really a way to raise a workforce? Okay? And these other 3 are just because, they really get the whole issue. So we need better security posters. Now there's a problem with information security awareness posters if they're made by security professionals. We're a little bit too direct and to the point. And sometimes that's not the best way to do it. But even though we can't make it that direct and say what we really want to mean, it's like we can't make it where we're too obscure. Using technological terms that they don't understand, making it a process, they're not very comfortable with it. They have to be able to understand it. They have to expect to know what's going on and how to prevent it. Hopefully everybody, at least, 40% got that one.
I just thought you had to do that here. That's all.
exactly. That's a good point. No, that wasn't boss. It's just stupidity. It's like, don't give me that much credit. So you can't have those kinds that are so obscure. Now, what's another one? Let's have an accurate one. One that's a little bit more, directly related to the employee, like this Google security awareness poster. So it's like something that's a little bit more official and stuff. We'll actually get directly to the point. Now, we got to be able to take away all these in one way and stuff, and just make it where it's a general security awareness poster that everybody can get behind and understand. Okay? It's like, and that's what you need to do. It's like you need to be able to show that it gives them the information, it shows them an example of a threat, and it shows them what they need to do about it. So that's what we need to do when we're talking about security awareness. So one of the things that we can do now is what we're doing now. Getting involved, getting engaged in the community. It's like trying to understand what the issues are, what the problems are, and working with each other on finding ways to solve them. These are just some of the links that are out there because...
Some people that do work.
Exactly, because working is fun, the mental.
Just tell them that. You can tell them to do work instead of great.
Okay.
Just do it.
Yes.
They have to do it.
Yes, they do.
No, it never gets done.
It never gets done. Keep going. I got you. I'm 3 minutes over anyway. I don't care. So, seriously, that's it. Yes.
Is any of your tools that you carry in either bucket of health or your bag of thing actually being illegal in the countries that you were engaged with carrying?
No comment. It's like, no. It depends. It's like, well, that's one of the reasons why I don't bring them. Like, I didn't take them to Germany with me. It's like because there's a problem with malware. But in certain laws, say if I'm in the employ of in a company to use those tools, then it is legal. All right. Oh, now she's doing the wave. So, but my time's up. I'll be here all week, folks. It's like try the deal. So if you have a question or you want to talk to me afterwards, just let me know. I'll feel free to discuss it. You won't be able to get me to shut up. So it'll be all good. Done.